This is Live Speak, and I'm Justin the Geek. I'll be taking your calls, answering your questions if I can, filling your head full of nonsense and acting like a fool. Here we go. Enjoy the show. That's right, everybody. This is Live Speak with Justin the Geek. I am Justin the Geek. I'm here today with Alan Quandt from thedigitalcraft.com. This man has over 1.5 million views on YouTube done by himself. That's pretty amazing, I have to say. How you doing today, Alan?
Marvelous.
Marvelous. That's a good answer. So, how's life over there in Indiana?
Getting warmer.
That's good. So I have Alan on the show today because I work with him at The Digital Craft, and he started The Digital Craft a while ago, and I realized that I've never really asked him how it all got started and everything, so I figured we'd talk about that today because he's done some pretty amazing things. And it's growing every single day, it seems like. So first thing I really want to ask you about The Digital Craft is, how did The Digital Craft begin?
How did it begin? It started out as it was an attempt to be a homeschool academy, a local homeschool academy. I shared I sublet an office space with a woman who was doing a homeschool academy and more of a generalized studies, math, science, things like that, and as well as tutoring. She would have students come in and be tutored by teachers and for off hours teachers, things like that. And it kind of got me thinking. So I've always wanted to teach. I've never really enjoyed the field as much as I enjoy teaching. And that kind of goes with the saying that those who don't do teach. So I kind of got inspired by that, but I realized, it's a huge undertaking. So I did the first thing that anybody in the web world does. I buy a domain, and I found The Digital Craft. And usually when you buy a domain, that means it started.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I'm going to buy a domain. It's going to be legit now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's on it.
Right.
There's no web page.
You got a blank web page.
But it's legit, along with all the other 40 domain names that I've bought that are legit.
But this is the one. This is going to do it.
Right. I even went as far as bought thedigitalcraft.net because I figured that would be a great student portal.
Oh, okay.
That has since retired. But so I put the website up, and I put it up similar to the way it was probably when anybody who's been around for at least the last year probably saw the very first version of the website. The design stayed the same, but the contents were different. I had information on tutoring and the academy that really didn't exist yet, and all that. And so my goal was to have a space. I knew the woman that I sublet from was moving out, and I was going to take over the whole office. And this whole office, I was subletting with my business, which was not The Digital Craft, the business I owned at the time. And I knew I'd get all these rooms, and so I figured, well, I can take advantage of these rooms and try and get tutoring going and get some sort of academy going. But while trying to get funding, it proved a little difficult while running a business and all that. So I didn't get a whole lot of help. I did get some help from some great people, but it ended up not being enough. So the idea kind of set for a long time. I kept the domain name because that was ultimately my goal, was whenever I can get a handle on my business and get that moving and working a little bit more on its own, I'll go back to this idea. But I never really did. The business went its own direction and ended up getting me too enwrapped in that. And years went by. I closed the business, started working for myself again, then got hired in a firm in Lake Tahoe, working here in Indiana, but remote for them. Very beautiful place, by the way.
Yeah.
It was a nice vacation to go to work in the corporate office there. I don't remember working much. I do remember a very great view. But after that, or during that time, when I had some downtime, which wasn't a whole lot, but I did have downtime anybody in this field, whether it be graphics, web, video, whatever it is you do, you know that to keep your chops up, you need to keep busy and need to keep learning. But a lot of the times, it's really hard to just come up with a fake project, like acmebusiness.com, and do something that you haven't already done in order to kind of do something exciting. So I thought, well, I've always wanted to do these video tutorials that I've seen and I've learned from.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing a few of those, and those ended up being, I think I did a couple Photoshop ones, and then I started on the massive build a website from start to finish series. And then that kind of just became what I did during any downtime I had. I just kept adding to that series, and I never really paid attention to what was going on. I didn't have a whole lot of followers at the time, and nor did I expect any. It was really more just me giving back the way I had I'd learned from people, and then hoping maybe somebody could get something from it. But ultimately, it was just to keep my chops going.
Yeah.
But then, while I'd be working on in my actual job, I'd start seeing little messages pop up from Outlook in the little corner of my screen, said, so-and-so is subscribed to your channel, so-and-so is subscribed to your channel. And quite honestly, I had never really done anything on YouTube anyway, so I didn't even know that was what that was. I'm like, what channel? I sign up for a million things, so I figured it's something that I've done.
Yeah.
That I'm getting spammed on now or something. I didn't think it was that important. And then one day I finally clicked on it and I realized, oh, it's my YouTube channel. Which one? I had two, one for my business and one for the tutorials. And so I started looking. I realized, oh wow, I've got like maybe 100 or like 500 or maybe even 1,000 at the time subscribers. And I'm like, this is crazy. I didn't think anybody would care that much. So I started caring a little more, and so I started finding extra downtime to put into that. I was already working like 70 hours a week at my job, but somehow I squeezed in more videos, and luckily at the time, the following wasn't so much that I had to produce these videos immediately. I had time, while everybody else was catching up with the first 10, I was able to work on the next 20, so that worked out kind of nice. But soon after that, around the time, a little bit before I met Justin, Livespeak, the geek, I had noticed that it was getting to the point where I had like over 2,000 subscribers, and I think I had like 200,000 views, which at the time seemed like amazing.
That's a lot.
And, I mean, it's still amazing. That's a lot of people looking at something that you did.
Yeah.
From someone who's done a lot of things locally, I would never see 2,000, people or views of something I've done here.
That's what people,
whether in music or arts or whatever in the community.
Yeah, people don't get that with YouTube because they're so used to seeing, people with, 50 million views on YouTube. But when you have somebody that's looked at your stuff over 200,000 times, and you're just a normal guy, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of views. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And once I kind of processed that, I realized, you know what? I hadn't monetized any of those videos because I wasn't even sure if I could yet until I looked into my account and realized I got approved for being a partner and for monetizing. So I said, all right, whatever, I'll toss some ads on there. But I came up with the rule to myself at that time that I will never put the full commercial ads, like something you'd see on TV, the annoying, before you watch the video, you got to watch this thing for 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do that. I just put the little ones on there. I wanted to see how well it'd do. And I have tried. I did some experiments later on, putting those on a video or two just to see if it would affect viewers. And I ended up taking those off, I think. I don't know. There might be a couple of stuff there, but it's invasive, so I don't like that. But anyway, so I put those on there, and then I started seeing revenue. Granted, it wasn't a whole lot of money. It kind of follows the same idea that we were just talking about with the views. Like 20,000 views. Well, if I made $100 in a month, that was $100 I didn't have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not going to feed my children for more than a week, but it's not going to pay my bills or anything. But it's cool. So that was motivation to start thinking whether it wasn't motivation to keep doing this. I was going to keep doing this no matter what. Even if I worked this job that I wasn't really fond of anymore, I would still do these videos. But then I started noticing that number increase and the feedback from people increase. I started getting a lot of, they weren't necessarily official testimonials, but they were comments that read like testimonials, along with some people talking about my voice, which were funny. But, but so then I started thinking, and I completely thought this. I did not think this out loud for my wife to hear. But I was thinking maybe I should quit my job.
Oh man. It's a good thing you didn't say that out loud, huh?
Right. So I did. Of course I told her that when my check didn't show up, but
I was going to say, did you quit first and then just let her find out, or what?
I quit. Took a couple of days to think about how to present it.
You eased into it.
She's used to it though. She calls it my phases.
Oh, okay.
I use little bunny ears, which you can see on our video we're taking right now, but you cannot. They are virtual bunny ears on the radio. But yeah, she calls them my phases. Every time I change something I'm doing, it's just a phase. But I know it's legit. I have a domain name.
Exactly.
But so yeah, so I quit the job and moved in to what I'm doing now. And so that kind of went ahead of how it started, but this is how it started, and then it kind of merged into where we are now.
Well, I mean, that's nice. I mean, most people think, yeah, I want to quit my job and I can do something online, and it is difficult. I mean, it's not like you just were overnight, decided I'm going to make some videos, and get a domain name, and then by next Tuesday you're quitting your job. It wasn't like that. It was, you put a lot of work into it. I mean, the videos that I watched, the tutorial on creating a website, from start to finish, that's a lot of work that's gone into that. That's 45 minutes to an hour per video, just recording, then editing and all that. And people don't realize there's tons of work that goes into that. So, I mean, I think it's really impressive what you did with those videos. But I have a few more questions for you about that. I figured we'll go to a quick commercial and then we'll discuss some more about the digital craft. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, we'll be right back with Alan Quandt from the Digital Craft.
You're listening to Live Speak with Justin the Geek every Sunday at 2 p.m. He's bringing you amazing courses from great instructors on Udemy.com. Lots of tech talk, phone calls, and much more. Live every Sunday of every week. This is Live Speak. Enjoy the show. Need a do-it-yourself with your website? Let the gurus at thedigitalcraft.com teach you how to build, design, and maintain your website at an affordable price. They offer private training on web programming, graphic and web design, video production, motion graphics, and expert consulting. Book your session today on Facebook at facebook.com/thedigitcraft and check out free tutorials at youtube.com/thedigitcraft or take our courses on udemy.com. Thedigitalcraft.com, your web and design guru.
All right, welcome back. We're here with Alan Quandt from thedigitalcraft.com. We're talking about how he got started. It's actually a really great story. I've worked with Alan for, I don't know, since November, or I don't even know how long it's been now. It's been longer than that.
Yeah, it's longer than that.
I don't know. We have a very interesting online relationship.
It sounds awful.
Yeah, it sounds like a Match.com ad. I'm sorry. It's purely professional, I promise. We're actually doing something pretty neat today with the Digital Craft. Is we're doing a video. Alan is recording right now. I have my webcam going, and he has his nice camera and fisheye lens going in his studio, and he's recording. We're gonna mix it together and kind of have like a live show later, which is actually pretty cool. He's got one on YouTube right now. I'll put the link in the show notes afterwards, and you can watch the behind the scenes basically of how he runs his show. So it's pretty cool to watch. So back to you, Alan, Mr. Quandt. So you originally started out doing this stuff for homeschooling. So what led you to change your focus from homeschooling to just simply doing video tutorials and private consulting?
The money. I'm kidding.
Just purely money.
No, to be honest, I don't make a fortune off of this by any means. I made more money doing what I was doing before, but that kind of leads to why I do it. I enjoy myself 100%. Aside from when the dogs are barking when I'm doing a tutorial, I enjoy everything I do. And that really is it. I took a pay cut to not be stressed out 70 hours a week or more. I mean, even when I wasn't working, I was thinking about work, and I don't think I slept for like a year or maybe 2.
Oh man.
And but the nice thing is that I have that work ethic, and so I decided, when I quit, I wasn't going to just take a break and then get into this video stuff, and then the private consulting came later. The tutorials were really just what I was doing, and but I decided to work 70 hours a week doing this. Not necessarily just tutorials, although I was producing quite a bit of tutorials in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I was definitely spending most of my time doing that, recording them and editing them, but also figuring out how I'm going to turn this into a business, because it kind of just landed in my lap. It wasn't something I planned for. But the nice thing about it was, unlike the tutoring with the homeschool kids, the original plan, the overhead was low. Is low. It's still low. And just liabilities in general, as much as I would love to be working with homeschool kids and things like that. Because I mean, the main reason I wanted to do that was because there wasn't a whole lot of outlets when I was a kid to get, not, this might sound pompous, but to tap into someone like my brain when I was little, and it just wasn't available. I mean, let alone Justin, we didn't have computers necessarily. We might have had like a green screen computer somewhere, or an Apple IIe.
Yeah, definitely not what we have today. We didn't have iPads in our classrooms,
Right. Some of these schools, the kids are getting issued iPads when they enroll. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to be a part of that, and but as much as I wanted to, it just wasn't feasible financially and all that. I didn't have any startup for it, and so this made way more sense. And back to what I was saying, I enjoyed it. There's no stress. I deal with, I record videos, I upload them, I answer questions, and then now I've come into this private consulting gig along with it, and I almost feel like hopefully this doesn't hurt me, but when I'm doing it, like, I enjoy it so much that I almost feel like I shouldn't be getting paid for it.
No, I understand that.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm doing nothing, but I'm enjoying. You go through. I'm in my 30s, so I've worked since I was 13 years old, and I've hated every single job I had, outside of pizza delivery, maybe. but I only enjoyed that when I was not at the shop, when I was driving around my car doing whatever I wanted. Yep. But but yeah, I mean, I enjoy it so much that it feels like a scam that I'm getting. This is my living. So that is really what the turning point was, along with meeting you and Jack, and when you guys got on board, it showed me that not only did I have interest, people have interest in what I was doing as far as taking from what I had and doing something with it, but people had interest in working with me and helping to build what I had, and that helped out a lot. So, for a long time there, Justin and Jack and I were probably spending more time on the phone than anything.
Oh, yeah.
Just talking about ideas and plans and which way to go. Some of the ideas very grandiose. But,
very.
But that's how you got to do it. I mean,
yeah.
Whether those ideas ever pan out or if it takes a while for them to pan out, the fact is that kind of passion and drive is in us, and we can see the possibility of it. And that really kickstarted me too. And it was shortly after that I started getting the idea. I've got a lot of people asking me questions on Facebook and via email and stuff, or even just on the videos themselves. Why not turn this into, like an hour private session or something?
Oh yeah.
And so that's where that started.
It seems like a lot of the stuff just kind of becomes a result of something else. You started out, thinking of doing homeschooling, and then realized that you could teach things on YouTube for basically free, and get paid for it. And so I understand the where you feel like you're, scamming people, because like with our courses on Udemy, I feel like the computer repair course that I did and your web design course that you did, if they make money, when I'm at work, my normal job, it's making money and I'm not doing anything. Meanwhile, I'm actually helping people with this course. Our courses are very good quality and teach some great things, but they do make money when I'm not doing anything. So it feels a little strange. I don't have the following like you have, where it's, people, I'm not doing really what you're doing in the same sense, but it's a strange feeling to have something making money like that. It really is.
Yeah, when you do decide to take a day off, and then you go look at your Google AdSense account and realize that you made, I'll make a pretend number, but say I made $40 yesterday and I took the day off. How does that feel?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that doesn't pay my bills.
No.
But I just made $40 and I feel like I did nothing. But that's why I always call it pseudo passive income. We're not making money doing nothing. We originally recorded the videos. Same with you. You do the radio show, and then you can make money off of ads from this show being put on YouTube, things like that.
Right.
So you put the initial work into it. So it's not completely passive, but it's definitely a rewarding job. And I usually don't bring this kind of stuff up to boast about the money that comes in with little effort or with effort that you enjoy. I talk about it so that other people can realize that I just got a note from Justin. He tried to be subtle about it.
Tried. I was just listening, but my whiteboard was too big.
But yeah, I'd like to talk about it because I don't feel like I should be the only one benefiting from this kind of income. I imagine the internet's going to be around for a very long time, but one day it may not, and why not get something out of it?
Well, yeah, and that's kind of why I jumped onto it and why I'm working so hard right now. People don't understand with me, my family and friends and stuff don't understand why I'm dedicating so much time to this right now. It's because I know it's available to make that money right now. I don't know if it's going to be available tomorrow. It's just like any other commodity with the AdSense stuff. You can only have so many people doing it. And when it gets to that point where no one else is allowed to do it, I want to make sure I'm in there, or the next great idea that we come up with, like with udemy.com, it's growing so big. I want to be part of it. I don't want to be sitting here wishing that I would have got onto that bandwagon and make money with them, so I'm devoting a lot of my time and spending a lot of my time in the studio and working on the computer and not making friends. So, it's a sacrifice that I'm doing right now, and that's fine with me because I know that it's going to pay off for something, and I don't want to miss my chance. It seems like it'll always be there, but I don't know that. I have no idea.
And even if it is, you and I had a conversation about AdSense in regards to on our websites, and I pointed out to you that I don't make nearly as much money on the banner ads on the website itself. I make most of the ad revenue from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But even if I only make $5 a month right now, which I'm just making a number up, but from those ads running on the website, that's $5 a month that I didn't have and somebody else would have.
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth it? Yeah. It's just money. So even if the internet doesn't go away one day, how long do you want to wait until you make that $5?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just do it. And it's going to build as long as you continue to build your content. That's the beauty of this kind of job.
Mm-hmm.
If I stop making tutorials, I'll make money for a while and it'll dwindle down.
Yeah.
But if I continue to make tutorials, I will not only make money around a consistent amount, but I'm going to continue to make more money because the more content I put out, the more money I make.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all on my time. I dictate how much money I make.
Yeah. It's your decision.
I like that job.
I know. See, I think some people are made for the 9-to-5 thing and some people aren't. I've had a hard time with jobs too, in the past. I don't know if I would say I hate jobs, but, I just think some people are made for working and some aren't. And some people are creative and can make a living without doing the 9-to-5 like you. And that would be a fantastic thing to accomplish in my life, would be able to have that passive income where it could kind of supplement a 9-to-5 job. So I don't have to have a 9-to-5 job, but luckily for me, I love my job that I have. So it kind of works out. I have a regular job and I get to do this on the side. So it's pretty nice. I would like to make a little bit more on the side, but eventually that'll happen, But
that's my point.
Yeah. It's just, waiting for it to happen. It's not like I'm waiting. I'm trying to make it happen, Just like you, like working with you, we're building content all the time and constantly moving forward. I'm not just sitting here hoping something happens. So
yeah, if you keep yourself busy, it will just, one day you'll be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I actually have money. I didn't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what I'm doing is actually paying bills now.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that I could.
Yeah, I did not expect that at this point I would be, doing a radio show and have a course online that's making money and whatever else is next. I just don't know, but I just keep working and it's going to happen, something big, because I want it to. Dreams, just dream.
Just dream.
I see we have a couple people in the chat on Spreaker, actually. Old John Rainey is in there, and my cousin Sliv. So, how about we throw it to some music, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more. Maybe think about taking some phone calls. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back with you.
Style! Kick it! Walking in this club with gold chains like Mr. T. Kick open doors and grab the first girl I see. I smack on the booty poos, I got all the right moves. Well, the cop try to catch me with a .08, 'cause I'm young with some money and a real hot day. And he can't help but hate on a hockey so fly. 'Cause the sticker in my window says party till I die. And I'm not dead yet, but I'm right, said Fred. Way too sexy for brunettes, screw blondes and redheads. 'Cause my homies told me they're the ones who make the most noise. My homies is a bunch of horny ass crap boys. You ain't gotta fight for your right to party. We ain't here for long, come on, don't be sorry. Have another drink of Coke mixed with Bacardi. 'Cause you ain't gotta fight for your right to party. You ain't gotta fight for your right to party. We ain't here for long, come on, don't be sorry. Have another drink of Coke mixed with Bacardi. 'Cause you ain't gotta fight for your right to party.
All right, welcome back. That was Fight for Your Right by my friend Tyrant. Man, that's an old song. He did that song a long time ago. Finally got Alan into the chat on Spreaker. I don't know what he was doing, what he was thinking, but he's on there finally. Thanks, Alan.
Welcome.
So, I have another question for you. Go figure. I'm kind of curious how you learn to do what you do, and if you have any plans. Like, what are your plans for the future?
I learned everything from started when I was like 15. Got a copy of Photoshop. Well, before that, I got a DOS computer. That kind of started it all. But once I got Photoshop, I started getting a good idea of what it was I was going to be doing with my life, or at least what I thought I might be doing with my life. My parents didn't believe that there was a career in it, and I really didn't either. I just wanted to pretend there was. But as time went on and I became an adult, it was obvious that this was a new career. There's a whole bunch of things opening up with the internet and with graphic design, web design, things like that. Because around the time that I was 18 or 19 is when we started seeing Flash emerge, things like that, and AOL wasn't the standard anymore. You could get on with a cable connection. You didn't have to use AOL to log into the computer and be forced to use what they considered the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's
everything
right.
you did in there had to be within AOL. But I ended up going to college here in town, an extension of Indiana, Purdue University. And I didn't really want to go to college. I just wanted to learn stuff. So, learn something.
Did you go for web design, or what did you go for?
I went for graphic design.
Oh, okay.
Web design wasn't even offered at the time.
Oh.
It was kind of a sidebar. There was a
wow.
couple of classes that kind of dabbled in it, but really it didn't go much further than cutting something up in Photoshop and letting Photoshop make the website for you, or page for that matter. So we didn't learn a lot there. I was actually going for graphic design was my major, but I was focusing on 3D modeling and animation, which that could be a whole nother topic. But bottom line, I didn't necessarily want to be there. So I took all the courses I could that were art related. And then when it came time to take my general courses, I lasted about a half a semester and said, this is boring. And much to my parents' dismay anyway. But we had been getting propaganda from this school out in Florida, this accelerated tech school called Full Sail, which is now Full Sail University. It wasn't a university when I went there. And my parents just, threw their hands up and were like, what if we go there? What if you go there? I said, thumbs up, let's go. And so I ended up in Florida, and that school was great. People have mixed reviews on that school, and my biggest thing, I don't want to get myself in trouble with the school because I loved it. But the biggest thing is, in that school, it doesn't make miracles. You need to go in there with knowledge. You need to go in there, or at least with the drive, or at least even have a computer. Some of the people in my my degree program didn't even come there with a computer. As in, not that they didn't just bring one, they never had one before. So,
Wow.
if you're going to pay the money that it costs to go there, uproot yourself from wherever you live. Most of the people, I think there were only 2 people in my degree program that were actually from Florida. The rest were scattered throughout the world. And if you're going to come all that way, you should have some understanding first. And I gained a lot of good information because the instructors there, at least at the time, I don't know how it is now since it's a university, but the instructors there were required to have worked in the field for at least 6 years, I believe.
That's
so
good.
Their slogan was real world experience. And you'll see a lot of that in my teaching style. I like to teach from the point of view of being someone who's done this for, at least a decade. And we learned about the mistakes they made, some of the great things. My favorite story, which I'll sum it up, was one of my teachers talked about a video project he had where the whole thing was a nightmare. When it comes to rendering and things like that, you are a slave to however long it's going to take to render something. And if you've only got a day left to finish a project and the rendering says it's going to be 48 hours before it's done, the panic involved in that. But the point was that he was trying to instill, because he ended up pulling it off. I forget what he did to do that, but he made like $38,000 for that job. He worked on it for about 3 months. And then he said, you know what I did after that? I took 3 months off.
Yeah,
and
I would.
That really spoke something to me. I'll remember that story among all the other stories I learned there. But that's where it all started. But I'll admit, since web design still wasn't big then, we only took one course there at Full Sail. I've learned most of this outside of there.
Yeah, so you went for
most of it from watching tutorials.
graphic design, and then you got out of Full Sail and decided it wasn't for you, or and then you went into web design.
I got into web design more out of curiosity, and then I realized there is a little more money in it. And it's not even necessarily about the money; it's the fact that the clients are a little more. It's more of a long-standing relationship with a client, whereas graphic design, a lot of times you do something, you're done.
Yep.
And there's also a lot of stress involved with graphic design because you're an artist working with someone who's expecting a product.
And some people don't know what they want too.
Right, and that's kind of what I mean. You get a lot of people who think that you're going to work just like Walmart. They come in, they order a design, and I give it to them, and it's perfect and done.
Yeah.
And there's revisions, and there's input from them and things like that. There's a lot involved in it. So I moved into web design, which still incorporates a lot of that, but it's, like I said, it's a long-term relationship. But past all that, I mean, most of what I learned as far as web and video, I learned video at Full Sail too. But and I also my college roommate and best friend was in the film program there, so I studied what he was doing quite a bit in between beers. but that's college. But so yeah, most of it was after that. It was video tutorials, reading books, and just plain being a nerd. And a lot of the reason why I ended up wanting to do tutorials myself, because of how much I learned from them and how easy it was to learn from those.
Yeah. I like tutorials. I'm more of a hands-on person too. So what are your plans then? What are you going to do after, or not after, but I mean, what are you in the process of doing? Do you have a grand goal in mind, or besides take over the world?
I've already done that. You just don't know it.
Oh, okay. You just want to make it known. All right.
But yeah, no, the goal with the digital craft is just to keep it going on the path it is. And any new thing we can add that makes sense, we're going to add. Be a little more strategic and organized with releasing the tutorials now that we have a following that's expecting more out of us. And I want to focus more on the private consulting as well. That's a very rewarding experience to work with these people. Everybody I've worked with on a weekly basis is amazing, and I learn a lot from them just as they learn from me. Which maybe I shouldn't say that, because maybe they shouldn't pay me. We're trading, but no. But I mean, I learn a lot about different cultures. I learn about what fields they're in, things like that, and it's great. But ultimately, as I was talking to Justin the other day, the biggest goal of mine is to move more into public speaking and doing seminars and things like that outside of my basement. See sunlight,
Yeah.
things like that, and do that. And if I had one ultimate goal, I would love to be at a TED conference, even if I'm
Yes.
just visiting, but I would love to be on stage. But
That's a
there
pretty
is
good
my
goal.
goal.
That is a great goal. Let's listen to our get something from our sponsors real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll sum up the show with Alan Quandt. How's that sound, Alan Quandt?
Sum it up.
Sum it right up. All right, we'll be right back with you.
Education is a must, but going to classes and listening to boring teachers can be very painful and expensive. Luckily, we have the internet, but it is so hard to find courses that are high quality, cheap, and easily accessible. Not anymore, thanks to Udemy. Udemy is the online academy for you. At Udemy, you can find hundreds of great courses from world-class instructors. You can learn stuff like how to create awesome demo videos cheaply, how to program in Python, Ruby, or HTML, how to start your own company, even how to wiggle your feet to the rhythm of salsa. But what if you want to teach others what you know? No problem. Udemy makes it super easy to create your own course in a few steps. Just create an account for free, give your course a name, upload all your content in any format, video, audio, PowerPoint, Word, PDF, publish it, and voila! It's now accessible to anyone, at any time, all over the world. You can even set a price for your course so you can make some money. Learn anything, teach anything at Udemy, the Academy of You.
Welcome back, everybody. Towards the end of the show here, we have about 2 minutes left. I figured I'd sum up the show with Alan Quandt here from the Digital Craft. I want to thank you for being on the show, Alan.
Welcome.
Not only do I want to thank you, but I just did thank you. So I've never understood that expression. I would like to thank you. Well, go ahead and do it.
Go for it. Let's see how I respond.
Yeah, exactly. Shoot, see if I like it. I don't know. You guys make sure and head over to thedigitalcraft.com. Check out Alan's work. You can see him on YouTube. Just go to thedigitalcraft.com. He's got his links to his YouTube channel there. His tutorials are really great. Everybody likes his voice too. It's really easy to listen to, I guess. I've seen the comments. It's pretty funny. But yeah, he's got some courses on Udemy. I'll put the links on my my blog on geekcreations.com and also on the show notes after this. We're going to start doing a block of shows. I'm going to be doing my show, and then Alan's going to do the Digital Craft radio show right after mine every Sunday. I think it's a great idea, personally.
I do too. I'm not sure if I'm pulling one off today or not yet.
Yeah, today was a weird day because of the daylight savings time. It kind of threw us both off. You know, I didn't have the right cable. I didn't have the right adapter. I had to go get that. By the time I got back, I was already late. So we're already pushing it.
I think we're trained to intentionally not anticipate the time change.
I think so too. I never know. I never pay attention until I'm late for work or something. But that's the show for today. I hope you guys had fun listening. I don't even know how many people are there because I think John and Sliv are the two people listening. So, hey, thanks, John. Thanks, Sliv.
Thanks, John.
And whoever else might randomly be listening. But tune in next Sunday. Next Sunday I have Tom Evans on my show. He bends time. So thanks again, Alan. And we'll talk to you next Sunday. Yeah.
Sounds a plan.
Sounds about right. All right. Take it easy, Alan. I'll talk to you next week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.